Good Tuesday evening, November 12th, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A young man from Grand Coulee was arrested on Sunday after he reportedly injured two people at a party. Superintendent Carol Lewis will continue to lead the Moses Lake School District after serving in the role the last few months. Rain with snow in some location moves in on us tonight and sticks around through Wednesday. All the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. A phony report of armed burglars attempting to crack a safe inside a Leavenworth tavern led sheriff's deputies and state troopers to clear out a block of downtown Front Street on Monday afternoon until the report could be assessed. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies were called just after 1:30 p.m. to the Loft Bar and Grill at 843 Front Street, where a caller allegedly told Rivercom dispatchers three armed men were breaking into a safe in the upper story business. Sheriff's Chief of Special Operations Ryan Moody told NCWLIFE News the caller claimed to be watching the burglars on a smartphone security app that fed video from a surveillance camera. The caller described three masked men dressed in black and carrying weapons. But after deputies and Washington State Patrol troopers cordoned off the block, entered the building, and climbed to the floor in question, they found no sign of a burglary and no suspects present. The call brought 7 deputies from around the county, although the multi-agency East Cascade SWAT team was not activated, Moody said. The hoax is under investigation. A vehicle mishap late Monday left many residents of Manson without power overnight. Chelan County Fire District 5 says the problem started with an 8 p.m. accident at Roses Avenue and Green Avenue, where a trailer detached from its vehicle and struck a power pole, severely damaging it. The pole carried a main feeder line for most of Manson and the south shore of Lake Chelan. Chelan County PUD crews had to power the line down and eventually route electricity around the trouble spot. The PUD said power had been fully restored to all areas as of 5:30 this morning. A young man from Grand Coulee was arrested on Sunday after he reportedly injured two people at a party. The Grand County Sheriff's Office, along with the Grand Coulee Police Department, responded to a call of a large fight at 2:15 a.m. on the 200 block of 2nd Street. Most attendees left the party once authorities arrived, but one individual returned and armed himself with a kitchen knife. The 17-year-old boy then allegedly swung the knife at a 22-year-old woman, slashing the back of her hand, and confronted a 20-year-old man, also swinging the knife and slashing his chest. He was then restrained by other attendees until the authorities arrested him. Both victims were later treated by paramedics. The teenager was registered into the Chelan County Juvenile Justice Center while authorities continue the investigation. Chelan County Commissioners agreed today to lower the speed limit on a section of Chumstick Highway north of Leavenworth from 35 to 25 miles an hour. The move lengthens an existing 25-mile zone by 0.3 of a mile near the city limits. County Public Works Director Eric Pearson told commissioners the change makes sense given traffic and development along that part of Chumstick.
Basically what it does is it takes the 25-mile-an-hour zone that's down by the county shop and extends it up past the intersection with North Road, roughly to about the reindeer farm. And so the rationale, as you saw in my report, is not only because the congestion occurring at North Road intersection, but once the occupancy of the apartments come into play, that adds a fourth leg with a lot more traffic, which could have more congestion. Eventually, with our construction of the roundabout anyways, we'd want to actually decrease speeds up at that location prior to.
When we come back later this week or next, aerial drones will sweep over the Wenatchee River, where it's joined by Peshastin Creek, to collect data on fish and animal habitat. And Superintendent Carol Lewis will continue to lead the Moses Lake School District after serving in the role the last few months. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Are you a good listener? Do you stay curious when exploring conflicts? Can you manage emotions in stressful situations? Do you want to help people create solutions that work for each person's needs, lives, and culture? We need people like you to learn to be volunteer mediators, and we're here to help. Contact your local dispute resolution center to discuss your interests and learn about training opportunities.
Attention all units, be on the lookout for Hot Tub John's mind. That's right, Hot Tub John's has lost his mind at Hot Tubs Liquidators. Get a 5-person platinum spa with all the options, including 34 jets for $59.95, or a 6-person infinity with all the options included, 91 jets for $79.95. That's nuts! Celebrate these grand opening deals at both locations in Chelan and now in Wenatchee. Stay tuned for the next episode of Where's John's Mind? Hot Tub Liquidators.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
Later this week or next, aerial drones will sweep over the Wenatchee River where it's joined by Peshastin Creek. The bird's eye survey is meant to collect data on fish and animal habitat around the confluence. It's part of the ongoing habitat restoration program around Lower Peshastin Creek, a partnership between State Fish and Wildlife and the Department of Ecology. Officials have already spent part of this year removing lead-contaminated soil around the waterway. In 2025, they'll begin aquatic habitat restoration. Drone flights will commence either this Thursday or on November 21st, depending on weather. The Community Foundation of North Central Washington recently raised a record-breaking amount of $929,327 through their online fundraising campaign, Give Medow. It supports local nonprofits in the Medow Valley. Give Medow started in 2015 to boost awareness of local nonprofits and to make philanthropy accessible to all. The campaign, which started in October, was supported by multiple matching gifts that boosted contributions to the Give to All Fund. That fund raised a total of $172,274, which provided each participating nonprofit with an additional $3,915. In November, supporters of Give Medow and nonprofits celebrated the record-breaking results, thanking everyone who supported the campaign. The Wenatchee Valley has a new face representing them in Olympia. Samantha Louderback, a graduate of Central Washington University, will become the lobbyist representing the Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce. Louderback of SL Public Affairs will represent and address key issues and engage with policymakers while in Olympia. She replaces retiring Bruce Beckett, who has been a lobbyist since 1996. The Chamber says it's looking forward to the fresh perspective of Louderback, who will support and champion the interests in Wenatchee Valley businesses. Superintendent Carol Lewis will continue to lead the Moses Lake School District after serving in the role the last few months. In May, the district placed Superintendent Monty Sabin on administrative leave as the district began to battle a $20 million budget shortfall. Lewis filled the role on an interim basis, and the interim tag was dropped last week, according to the district. A press release said Lewis's commitment to helping the district restructuring district finances and helping navigate the budget crisis exceeded the expectations of the school board. Her transition to the permanent role took immediate effect. Coming up next, municipalities in Central Washington are putting forward new ordinances around unauthorized camping on public property. More on that in tonight's feature story. Wet weather returns tonight through Wednesday and then again this weekend. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Let Mary Maid's custom cleaning experts help you clean up your to-do list. Between work, kids, and pets, it's hard to find time to keep up. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee help. Mary Maid's cleaning experts can help keep your home or business fresh, neat, and exactly how you'd clean it, if only you had the time. Call now for a free estimate, 509-663-1710. Serving Chelan and Douglas counties, Mary Maids, let us help.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Municipalities in central Washington are putting forward new ordinances around unauthorized camping on public property now that the U.S. Supreme Court has made it easier to pass laws targeting the homeless. Chelan County was among the first local governments to pass such a law, and it's now in the midst of crafting policies to offer social services and other assistance to homeless people facing eviction from county property. County Commissioner Kevin Overbay spoke about the new law last week on the Chelan County Connection podcast.
This really is an opportunity for us, if there's an encampment, for us to have face-to-face contact with folks that may need to have services provided to them, that maybe don't know about services or have not taken services that they've known about in the past, but maybe now is the time for them to be able to utilize those services. So really we're putting the finishing touches on that. We have another session next week that we're doing. The code was actually developed over a few weeks. We actually brought in folks from different departments, our community services and housing department, our public works, prosecuting attorney's office, our community development, our sheriff's office, and really got feedback on the code. But the code is just one part of the whole story. But realistically, what the code says is that it provides our sheriff's office an opportunity to contact people that are on county-owned properties, ask them to leave, give them 24 hours notice opportunity to vacate the property, to take their belongings off of the property. And then basically, after that 24-hour period, they can be trespassed from the property. The idea is not to criminalize homelessness or to criminalize anybody's use of the property. It's to really just get compliance with unauthorized uses of the property from any individual who basically seems to be on county-owned properties, for purposes that really are not authorized for county purposes or for the general public as a whole. It's really any properties that are owned or managed by the county for the purposes of providing services to the citizens. It could be vacant properties that maybe have no intrinsic use today, but could potentially have uses down the road, whether it be for roadway uses or other county functions. It could actually even be our campus here on Washington Street, the county courthouse. So it's really any county properties that are owned or operated or managed by the county. So if we're under contract with another entity to manage their properties, it would be applicable to those as well. It basically gives timeframes. So we have between 24 and 72 hours to actually clean up the encampment area. And so we give our 24-hour notice. We'll either return within 24 hours or a little bit further after that. Law enforcement will be a part of that just for safety and security. But we will potentially be utilizing folks that are identified within the county family here from other departments, whether it's our public works department through solid waste, whether it is our community services and housing department that would actually be able to provide assistance either through coordinated entry or through our third-party contracts that we have with our vendors, such as like a Women's Resource Center or Community Action Council, food security elements, things like that, to be able to have an opportunity to provide those folks that are being contacted the warm handoff to those services, really, that are available in our community.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic Tuesday. Sunny skies throughout most of the morning into our mid-afternoon, and then some clouds started rolling in, and you could sure see that from our Sky-Fi tower camera up at Lake Wenatchee, giving us a very cool shot from this afternoon with some low-hanging clouds around the mountains, even a little burn happening just on the lakeside there up in Lake Wenatchee. So that is the start of our next storm system moving in tonight that will affect us overnight and boy, all day on Wednesday. More on that in a second. And it's not just rain showers, also some snow expected to our friends up north. Omak, Tonasket could see maybe a trace of snow. Winthrop as well, a trace. But traveling over Loop Loop Pass up north, 2 to 4 inches of snow could fall. And that's going to be between tonight and probably early Thursday morning. So if your travel takes you up that way, be aware you could run into some wintry travel. High temperature today unofficially. Boy, it got warmer than we thought today. 10 degrees above our normal temperature of 45. We were at 55 degrees today. Our record 63, and that was set in 2016. This morning started out at 36 degrees, just a few degrees above our normal low of 32. Our record cold 12 degrees, and that was set in 1985. Sunrise this morning 7:02, and it's set this afternoon at 4:28. Getting you into your Wednesday forecast, temperatures will be cooler tomorrow. It's going to be cloudy and wet, so temperatures barely around 50 degrees. We'll see 51 Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy, and then 50s from Wenatchee up through Eniat into Chelan, 48 for Leavenworth tomorrow, and 49 the high temperature tomorrow afternoon up in Leavenworth. Tonight we can expect cloudy skies, all because of this gigantic area of low pressure that's just off the British Columbia coast. It's bringing that moisture up from the southwest, and look at the widespread rain showers tonight. We expect lows overnight somewhere in the low 40s. For Wednesday, cloudy skies. That low just kind of stays parked off the BC coast. It's going to be a rainy one all day tomorrow, folks. 90% chance. We'll see high temperatures around 50 degrees, and then a couple of days that we'll see a break from the wet stuff. Mostly cloudy skies. A large area of high pressure begins to build in the Pacific. We will still see some scattered showers in western Washington, maybe a little bit of snow in the Cascades. High temperatures will be around 50. For Friday, mostly sunny skies. It's going to be a fairly nice day. It's going to be dry, and that's going to be unusual over the next 7 days. We'll see highs again on Friday right around that 50-degree mark, and then here we go again as we get you into Saturday. A little trough of low pressure beginning to develop off the Washington coast. Not so much rain and snow during the day, but as we get into our evening hours on Saturday, here we go, almost statewide, and I think we could even see a rain-snow mix here at home on Saturday night. High temperatures cooler into the mid-40s, and we're going to stay wet on Sunday. There's that low pressure tracking across Canada, but it's still going to bring some of that wraparound moisture our way. Rainy all day, high temperatures again in the mid-40s, and then by the end of our forecast on Monday, look at the nice big ridge of high pressure over the Pacific Northwest. It should keep us pretty much rain-free, maybe a scattered shower on Monday, and seasonal with high temperatures in the mid-40s. All right, your 7-day forecast now. 36 overnight, rain tomorrow and 50. A bit of a break from the rain on Thursday and Friday with highs generally around 50, maybe the low 50s, and then cooler and back to the wet weather. 80% chance of evening rain Saturday. Looks like maybe an all-day rain event Sunday and 47, and then just some scattered showers by Monday with the high then of 46 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Seattle Kraken are back at it in NHL action tonight at home. The Columbus Blue Jackets come to Climate Pledge Arena for the 7 o'clock game in Seattle. Coach Dan Bilesma says the team continues to work on improving at both ends of the ice.
Pace and execution was critical and mandatory. And I think there are just some other key points on where we want to continually hound on the game and transition, making sure we're playing fast mentality and going north. You saw that, and D-zone coverage a little bit there. We need to be comfortable playing D-zone coverage and what our assignments are and what we're trying to do, and comfortable as in we need to be real solid in it, and so touching a few points in that regard today.
Tonight's game will be broadcast on Kong TV. Well, the Seahawks return from the bye week and will travel to take on the 49ers Sunday in Santa Clara. After a 3-0 start, Seattle has lost 5 of 6, including 4 in a row at home. Coach Mike McDonald says they attacked the issues during the extra week off.
Good, really good bye week. Just gave us an opportunity, one, to kind of take a step back, just like we talked about before we left. Guys got rejuvenated, did a great job by staying on top of their stuff. We had a really sharp practice today, and was an opportunity for us to look where we're at. I think some of the big takeaways was really it's not the what we're doing, it's the how we get it done. We've talked a lot about process, in this setting, and the same thing goes. But I think, like I said, everything was on the table. Made personnel decision, today that I'm sure you guys will ask about, and we continue to move forward. So the guys are excited, they're in good spirits, and we got a great, big week of prep ahead of us, and onward we go.
Seattle just waived linebacker Santana Dotson this week, making him the second linebacker sent packing on the defensive side of the ball. Coach McDonald says they just need to be better.
Well, I think holistically as a defense, we weren't getting it done, and we put a lot on our linebackers, and so, I hate that it had to work out like just through those two guys, because those two guys that we respect a lot and have come in and worked really hard. But sometimes you have to make these decisions and do what you feel like is best for our defense to take the next step, and so that was the decision. But it just happened to be those guys. But we do put a lot on our linebackers. We expect a lot from those guys, and that'll always be the case here as long as we're here.
McDonald says he and his coaching staff reviewed everything from top to bottom during the bye week to figure out what's going wrong.
I think it's all about the how of what we're doing. The X's and O's are important, but how we make it come to life is the secret sauce. And I think when you kind of see it on all levels of the assembly line, from how we game plan it, how we package it, how we coach it, how we drill it, how we practice it, how it shows up on game day. When that system's right, we play really good football. When there's when that system's kind of jacked up on any part of the process, then I feel like that's where we're falling short. So it's from top to bottom, we got to do a great job of packaging it and making it come to life out here on the practice field and on Sundays.
Seattle's looking for its first divisional win Sunday when they kick off in Levi Stadium at 1:05. The game will be broadcast on Fox TV. The start to the 2024-25 Western Hockey League season has not been the greatest for the Wenatchee Wild so far. Wenatchee's back home for a couple of games this weekend. Off to a 6-10 start, Coach Don Knockbauer has been working to improve the Wild special teams. Wenatchee broadcaster Austin Drade joined Dan Kuntz on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley this morning to discuss the net presence.
We're starting to see the guys scoring on special teams. We've been scoring on the power play the last 5 games in a row. The percentage is starting to climb slowly. The guys are, I was talking with Coach Knockbauer before the game on Saturday. We talked about that net front presence, getting to the net, getting to those areas where you kind of have to grind out a play and do the extra work. And brought a smile to his face because the guys were, number one, we were talking about that and focusing on that, but the guys were really doing that well on Friday night. And we're seeing the results start to show up. The guys are slowly but surely climbing the standings, and now it's so early.
Andrade also touched on a change in Division I rules by the NCAA that will allow upper-tier hockey players to also play college hockey.
It's an opportunity for guys to play major junior hockey, not just Western Hockey League, but OHL or Quebec Maritimes League, and they'll still be able to play Division I hockey. Doesn't cover Division III, but it does cover Division I, where the guys can get scholarships. Division III is all non-scholarship, but it really opens up some options for the players, and it opens up options for the NCAA teams as well. Before, if you wanted to recruit the top level of junior hockey in the U.S., you went to the USHL. 15 teams plus the National Team Development Program, your U17s, top U18 players in the country. And a lot of those guys will go on to play a year or two in the USHL before they move on to colleges. Now, instead of having 16 programs that you can recruit from, they have 76 programs that they can recruit from if they want to go directly to top-level junior hockey to recruit. So it's huge for the players, and it's huge for the colleges who may want to bring these guys in.
Wenatchee hosts Calgary Saturday at 6 o'clock, Kamloops Sunday at 4. That'll be at the Town Toyota Center. Well, state tournament time begins today and tomorrow for girls soccer and volleyball teams from our region. Pateros, the girls are at South Kitsap for a first-round game today against Cross Point Christian in the B state tournament. Coming up tomorrow, Okanagan plays at Napavine at 4 o'clock. Tonasket faces Toledo in Kelso at 6. Brewster and Northwest Christian kick off at 6:30. That'll be at Central Valley High School in Spokane. First round of the State 1A tournament is tomorrow with Wenatchee Valley facing the Bush School in Sammamish at 5. Cashmere hosts Kingsway Christian at 6. Royal plays Cedar Park Christian in Juanita also at 6 o'clock. Ellensburg begins the State 2A tournament at Civic Stadium in Bellingham tomorrow night at 6. That'll be against Seaholm. Wenatchee on a 13-game winning streak in district championship was awarded a higher seed and home game tomorrow night at the Apple Bowl. Kickoff between the Panthers and Kent Ridge in the 4A tournament set for 6 o'clock. The Yakima Valley Sundome will see the influx of small school volleyball teams from the State 1B and 2B tournaments starting tomorrow. Soap Lake has a play-in match tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock against PL. Win and the Eagles will be guaranteed 2 more matches. Waterville-Mansfield begins the tournament at 1:30 in the afternoon against Mary Walker. Manson begins defense of its State 2B championship tomorrow morning at 9:45 against Warden. Tonasket takes on Coupeville also at 9:45. The State 1A tournament doesn't get underway until Friday morning for Cashmere and Chelan. The Bulldogs face Lakeside 9 Mile Falls in the first round at 12:45. Chelan begins defense of its title against Kalama. That will be at 2:30. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Tuesday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.